Hello everyone, Terra here and welcome back to my channel, and today I will be unveiling my giveaway figure. So here it is, Magic Squares MS-B47B Dark Knight Shattered Glass, aka Jetfire Black version. So obviously before I give this figure out I must review it, but do not worry, because those entering the competition will be getting a brand new sealed figure because I just so happen to have a second one here. So starting from the packaging, I love this retro design the company used. I find it a very nice homage to the 80s Transformers boxes, which is really cool, especially when it's a figure from Generation 1 series. So on the front we get the art of the figure itself, as you can see, the company name on the top, the figure code and the name of the actual figure down here on the bottom. On the left side we have the company name again, the code for the figure, and we have a really nice digital portrait of the robot mode. Going on to the right side, again you have the company name, the logo, the name of the figure, and again another digitized, kind of like a schematics design for the jet mode, which is quite cool. And going on to the back side, you have a really nice art for the jet mode. And you've got some stats for the figure, which is quite cool. So let's get him out of the box. So there he is in his plastic casing, and first and foremost you get a set of instructions, which surprisingly these ones do a pretty good job, and you also get a plastic stats card, and last but not least, you get a little panel that goes onto the chest, so you can switch between the two alliances. So there he is, and I have to say he looks really amazing on a first glance, really show accurate. The paint looks great, though I have to admit that it does feel plasticky, because it is more or less plastic matte for the most part. And to be honest, I really like Jetfire as a character, plus I do have a bit of a soft spot for characters who are bad, turn good, turn hero. So let's get a closer look at that face sculpt. Really nice silver face sculpt. I really dig the metallic red for the eyes, really brings out the Decepticon in him. For the most part you have this matte black color, this metallic silver. As I've said before, you do have some metallic silver on the sides, and you also get this shiny green part here on the top of the head. And going further down onto the chest, you have more or less the same pattern following along this design. So again you have the matte black, shiny metallic silver for events, a little bit of purple here, and everything is matte colored except this green see-through glass, which is the cockpit area of the jet mode, and it looks really cool. You can actually open this, and I'll show this later on. Of course the arms are fully blacked out. Going down onto the legs, again the same color scheme, silver on the knee pads, matte black. You get silver, actually this is more like gunmetal gray on the toes here, and you get purple for the side vents, which is pretty cool. And on the back, of course, same color scheme, just a little bit more purple for the jet backpack, silver linings on the wings and on the front of the jet, and again the same clear plastic for the secondary cockpit area. I really like this color palette. I have to say I think I prefer it over the white one, because I don't know, he seems a bit more Decepticon-y and I think it kind of suits him. And I have to say I love how minimal the backpack is kept, considering that this is one of those characters that has a really large backpack even in the show, and this is really minimal, and it's really nice how they've designed it. So great job Magic Square. So going on to the articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can do a full 360. You can look up that far, down not much, because I guess he likes to look at the sky more often. But if you move this two hinges on the inside of the head, which are for the transformation, it allows you for a bit more range of motion, though it kind of breaks the whole sculpting, the whole aesthetics of the figure, so still it gives you a bit more range of motion. And let's go onto the shoulders. You have a 90-degree bend on that butterfly joint, which is quite cool. You have a 90-degree bend on the shoulder, and a full 360-degree rotation. You have a full rotation on the upper bicep. You have a lovely almost 180 bend on the elbow. The only bad thing about this matte color is that on the light it really looks dark, so that's a bit unfortunate. So going on to the hand, you get a really amazing design which allows you to get a 90-degree bend outwards on the wrist, and you also get a individually articulated 3 fingers here and the index by itself on one hinge, which is quite nice, and you also get a full 360 rotation on the wrist, so really articulated for such a small figure. So going on to the waist, you do get a full 360-degree rotation, but unfortunately the backpack does get in the way. Oh, but wait, you can actually move it out on these 3 hinges here, which is quite cool. So that allows you to do a full 360-degree rotation, and not just that, you actually have a double hinged waist, so he can pretty much do any kind of ab exercises you want him to do. He can look back like 90 degrees, which is pretty amazing. Let's put this back in place, because it does break the scalp, but that is absolutely amazing. They have that much range of motion on a legend scale figure. So going on down onto the legs, you do get a bit of a more than 90-degree bend, and I love how they've kind of used the MP44 design here. So this little panel moves inwards together with the foot, but also this is on a separate connection, so if you so much want, you can change the positioning of this to cover other parts, which is really cool. Unfortunately, sometimes it gets stuck there, so you need to put it into position by itself. Unfortunately, you don't get much of a back movement, a back kick, because of the butt skirts, which get in the way. But that's okay, I guess, because you do get a full split. You also get a full rotation on the thigh, but the armor does get in the way, so it doesn't allow him to go all the way around. You get a lovely, pretty much 180-degree bend on the knee on this double, actually, yeah, it is a double hinge joint. And you can actually move this protective knee guard here to, cover up some of the joints there, which is really cool. And I love how the overall stance this thing has. It does have that, G1-ish front bend look, which is really amazing. Magic Square really knocked this out of the park with how show accurate this is. And last but not least, going down to the feet, you get a lovely 90-degree pivot. And as for the toe, you can move it on the base about 70 degrees, and then you also have a 180-degree bend upwards and downwards on this secondary hinge for the toe. So overall, this thing is extremely articulated. The one negative I have to say about it is that some of the joints seem a bit loose, mostly on the legs, and that's not because it is actually loose, it's because he is a bit top heavy. So I would like it if, for example, the feet down here were a bit tighter, or at least they might have used some die cast in the legs to keep this guy from falling over so often. But for the most part, you can get him to stand and do a lot of poses, which I'm going to show later on, but it does take a bit of fiddling to get him into position. As for accessories, you only get this one rifle here, which is this metallic gangway metal, and it's quite show accurate as well, very G1-ish. I would like to have a second one of these, it would look really cool. And to attach it onto his arm, you just slide it into his fist, and it just stays there without even closing the fingers, but let's just close it for the full effect of him holding the rifle. And it stays there quite securely. The upper part of the fist is designed into a circle specifically just for the gun, so it's really well made to hold it in place. As I've said, I would like to have a second one, and the reason is because if you come here in the back, you've got these two little holes on each side, and it looks like the bottom part here of the gun looks like it fits here for storage. So I would like to see a second one so you can fit it there, but nonetheless, this looks quite good. Going on to size comparison, here he is with Lego's Venom, here he is with fourth party Nero, and here he is with Transart's Beast Wars Transmetal Rat Trap. Overall, I really dig this scale. As far as I'm concerned, I think he really matches the rest of the Legend scales from the company really well. I would like to have an actual masterpiece scale of this guy, but for the most part, this is a Legend scale masterpiece. As for the transformation, the instructions show to start from the top, but I like to get a few things out of the way first before I go to that part. So first you need to get the arms all straightened out, otherwise the fist will not fold inwards. So you open up this panel, keep the fist closed and just fold it in like so, and close it back up. Do the same on the other side. Make sure that this little spike thing is kept straight, otherwise it's gonna get in the way of you folding in the hands. So again, open it up. This one is a bit stiffer than the other one, and fold it in and close that back. So then I'd like to go onto the backpack. You want to come to these fins here, just flip them upwards and just pull this off of the back so you have a lot of clearance here. Then these wings are on rotation joints, so you just fold them around like so, fold it around, and then you want to come underneath here. You've got a little bit of tab on this section here, just untab it, flip this out, and then you want to just flip out the wing on this lower hinge, flip out this panel, and then just rotate this one back, and it's gonna go into that little groove there, kind of like a puzzle, and do the same on the other side. And just put them back into place like so. Then what you want to do is slide this part on the inside downwards, just push it down on this little peg here, and it should snap. And now you've got the jets all exposed, and you want to rotate them 180 degrees. So that these pegs are facing downwards, sorry. And last but not least, for the backpack, this part you just want to split it open, and it should snap in place. And the indication is that you need to have a straight line across. So that's pretty much it about the backpack, and I'll just leave it there for now. And then I like to go onto the legs, which are really basic for the transformation. First, you just want to come to the bottom, flip out this panel here, like so, and just flip the toe inwards, and then this is going to come and rest on top, kind of like a vent here, and that's pretty much it for the toes. Do this on the other side. Now I like to keep these skirt panels a bit open because they do have a tab later on. So then what you want to do is come back here, open up this panel on both sides, and just pull the leg outwards. Let me just get a better look on it. So this has 1, 2, 3 hinge connection, which just pulls out, and then you just want to fold it in on itself so that this little groove here aligns with the little tab. One thing I forgot, before you do that, you actually need to flip out the wheel that's hidden in there. It's a bit hard to get out. There it is. So you just want to flip out the landing wheel, and now this will go and slide inwards, and then you just want to close this panel back, straighten out the leg, and it should tap in. This little tab here is gonna go into this slot, and it will secure just like that. And you do the same thing on the other side, and you have the legs all done. Now, going on to the hard part. Coming onto the chest, you want to put your nail in this little groove here and just pull out this chest piece like so. Move it onto the side, the same on the other side, just like so. And then you just want to lift these puzzle-like panels here. So you just want to lift it upwards like so. And then what this does, it frees this rotation joint, and it also frees the head. So you just want to pull the cockpit area and unfold it and just flip the head back in, and there is a small hole here and a small tab here, and you just want to slide the nose on it and it should stay there really well. And then just flip out these assortment of panels. You also want to flip out this little tab in there like so, and you also want to flip out the wheel, which is hidden behind one of these panels, and leave it there for now. So we need to deal with the chest, which is really intricate design, I have to say. I really like how they've designed this. So what you want to do now is you want to flip out the butterfly joint, and then you want to rotate this part around like so. And then you want to flip this little puzzle piece inwards, and then straighten this out. Do the same on the other side, rotate it around, and flip the little puzzle piece like so. And there you have it. And then you want to fold in the arms like so. So you want to rotate the forearms so that these two little pegs are facing downwards, just like so, and that the vents are facing onto the side. And these panels, you want to rotate them so that the vents are facing towards the legs, and you just flip them upwards, and they should rest on a small tab right in there. Just like so. Then what you want to do is, there's two tabs on these upper panels of the cockpit, and they go right into the forearms, and that secures really nice and tight. And then you just want to fold this section onto the forearms, and the lower two tabs should go onto another two slots on this part, and then this single tab goes onto the waist area. Then you want to come here and just push the head down. So all that's left is to attach the 5 pegs that are located around the backpack onto the little holes that you have on the main body, and that will secure everything into place. This one goes back here, just like so, and we are done. So there you have the jet mode, and it looks amazing. I really dig this color palette. I really like it much more than the white one, and I have to say, this looks so cartoon accurate. I would like to have the wings maybe a bit thicker because you have such an empty space here on the side, but let's be fair, it is really accurate. And as for the bottom part, most of the parts are covered except from the shoulder. I would like maybe an extra panel that could be folded inwards in the transformation, which covers this area, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So overall, very good jet mode, and the transformation, I really like it. I've transformed this more than 10 times already, and it's been solid, and nothing has broken on it, and nothing feels cheap or flimsy, or that it's gonna break anytime soon. And of course the gun can go onto the nozzle here of the underneath the cockpit, just like so. You just put it into that hole, and it looks really good. But as I've said before, I would like to see a second one, because now you have these two openings here, and it looks like the gun holding part can be attached there, and it does actually. So I would like to see a second one which you could attach onto the side like so, which would look really cool. But you know, the front attachment storage port is pretty decent, and you do have functioning wheels which roll quite decently. And you know, there's not much else to go on about this except that you can actually open up the two cockpits you have, one here on the back, and you do have a bit of a seating going on there, and the same goes for the front one. There it is. So yeah, you do get a seat in there, if you can see it. Yep. So that's pretty cool. So you have like some really tiny persons, you can fit them in the jet mode. As for size comparison for the jet mode, here he is with Leo Prime, which is a Voyager class, so the length is approximately the same, and this is considered to be a Legend scale masterpiece. Here he is with Leader class Ultra Magnus from the animated series. And just for another Leader class reference, here he is with Buster Optimus. So the overall length is close to, not that close, okay. It's a bit short of the Leader class length. It's more on the Voyager scale length, so it's pretty decent size considering this is a shrinkage of the actual figure. I wish I did have the actual Jetfire, either the Takara one or one of the fourth party ones, but they are quite expensive. So my final thoughts about this figure is that this is really worth it. I would definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, the build seems a bit plasticky and it's a Legend scale, but believe me, this thing is solid and I've transformed it a lot of times, as I've said before, and there's been no damages or anything that feels loose or unstable. And the best part is that you don't even need to buy this, because as I've said, I will be giving away a brand new one. So to enter the competition, just go onto my Instagram page and follow the instructions on the post to enter and get a chance to win this, and trust me, you really need to have this in your collection. So I hope you have all enjoyed this review, and as always, like and subscribe. Until next time, stay geeky everyone, and I'll see you soon.